Today, we're going to talk about something very, very important: how to kill the overwhelm feeling, the stress feeling that we have most of the days, and three ways that we can practice so care. Um, and if you don't know, my definition of so is our mind, our will, and our emotions. So soul care is what we call mental health, right? And when you take care of your soul, when you take care of your mind, your will, and your emotions, we take care of our mental health. So today I want to talk about the three big reasons that give us that overwhelmed feeling, that is stress feeling. Um, that makes just our days and our weeks feel exhausting, okay? And the number one reason is that we as humans have to have control of everything, right? It makes me so happy that I can see comments right here. Last week I could not see comments, so that remind me, I did not introduce myself. If you don't know me, I'm Fernanda Longo. I am the founder of Eden Daily Essentials. And if you're logging in, say hi. Let me know where you are logging in from. Erin, I can see you. Danielle, Emma. So if you're logging in, say hi so I can say hi back to you. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, say hashtag replay so I know you watch it. And feel free to share this with a friend that you know is in an overwhelming phase and need to take some time to breathe. Okay? So let's go back to control. We as humans, we feel like we have to have control of everything that is going on in our lives. We like to compartmentalize things, our home life, motherhood, our marriage, our work, and so forth. And we like to keep everything under our control, which is insane because we do not have control of pretty much anything. Like we have very little control. The only control we actually have is the control of our reactions to things that happen to us. So, when we feel that overwhelm, the first step is to stop and saying, what am I trying to control that is actually out of my control? So I read a book once, and that was a long time ago. I don't even remember where, but they had two circles, like a big circle and a small circle inside of the big circle. And that was so, let me see. Let me get an example. Okay, so you have this circle, and then let's say this cross was the little circle. Okay, so anything that is inside of this cross, we have control, and anything outside of this cross here in the circle, we do not have any control, right? So we only have control of what is in here. That is. And I'm just using a cross as an example because it was here on my desk. It didn't have anything to do with the cross. But we only have control of what is inside because it's our reaction to the situation. And so if we have an issue that is right here, do we have control of? No, we don't. So why are we spending time, energy, and stress trying to control that situation that is out of our zone of control, which is here, right? So uh, a big example of that is I was talking to the girls here this morning about gas prices. Everybody is freaking out about gas prices. I never get into the gas station and say, "Oh my gosh, the gas is $4.39. I think I'm just going to leave my car here and walk." No, you're not going to do that. You're going to put gas on your car, whether it's expensive or cheap. You're going to put gas anyway because you're there because you need gas. So it's out of your control. Why are you going to stress out about the gas price when you are at the gas station pumping your car if you have zero control of it? Well, maybe you only have 20 bucks in your wallet. So you go and you put 20 bucks and see how much gas you get with 20 bucks. And maybe the plan you can do is maybe tomorrow I'll carpool with somebody or whatever. But you have only control of the reaction that you're going to do. You have zero control about changing the gas prices. Okay. So that is one way that we can kill the overwhelm. We can give ourselves a moment to breathe and say, okay, I can change this. I'm just going to deal with it. And then try to find a plan to solve that issue. Okay. Number two way to kill overwhelm and take care of your soul is separate what is important to what is urgent. On my daily basis, I usually think that everything that is urgent is important, and that's a lie. There are some things that are urgent and important. If the school call and my kid fell, got hurt, broke their arm, that's urgent and important. Okay, I can drop everything and run. But there are a lot of things that may sound urgent that are not important. And how we know that is 5 years from now, we will even remember that situation. So, for example, I am a person who often runs late. I am not proud to say, but I do run late a lot. It has a lot to do with my culture coming from Brazil. In Brazil, we are not so time oriented like you guys are here in US, but I often run late. And a lot of times when I'm trying to leave the house with 3 kids and I'm running late and I am like, oh, get your backpack, get your jacket, get this, get that. And then I get in the car and my kids are like, I forgot my stuffed animal. And then they start crying and then I run inside. So I'm always stressed because I got to run inside and get the stuffed animal or that extra diaper because I only have 3 on my diaper bag and maybe he needs 1 more. I mean, I'm not going to remember all these little things 5 years from now, but I'm super stressed because I'm running 5 minutes late, right? So I don't have control. These things may sound urgent because it's happening right there, but they're not very important. How can I react to that is if I do have something very important coming up, I can plan ahead and leave the house ahead of time instead of trying to get all the little details when I'm trying to get in the car, right? So let's separate what is important and what is urgent. And there are a lot of things in the important list that are not urgent and that we do not do them because they're not urgent. So at some point, they become urgent. And one of those things is taking care of our health. We never take the time to go to a doctor checkup. We never take the time to go to the dentist. We never take the time to work out, or we don't sleep enough, or we don't eat healthy. And then we get sick. We need to be in the hospital for several days. We have a toothache and we have to just cancel everything of that day and go get our tooth fixed. We have, we are feeling sick and we go to the doctor. We can't find what it is. The doctor say, you got to get on the severe diet. And you never took the time to actually slowly do those important things every day. So now it becomes urgent and you have to stop everything and do drastic changes in your life because they are important, but you didn't take care of them when they were just important. And now they became important and urgent. What is urgent is what brings us the stress and the overwhelm. So separating, we can even get a piece of paper and do a brain dump. Like, what are the things that are stressing me out now? Write them down and then separate what here is actually important and what is urgent but not important. What can we eliminate? There is always things that we can declutter from our to-do list, from our closets, from our house, from everywhere. So put those things in paper, separate them, breathe, put yourself, recenter, and start over, okay? And then the last thing that we can do to kill the overwhelm, and there's way more things, but I want to give you 3 today. The last thing that we can do to kill the overwhelm and take care of our soul is to do things that put us in the zone, like in our zone of genius. So there are things I always say, like there are 4 zones that we live in. We can live in our zone of genius, our zone of excellence, our zone of competence, and our zone of incompetence. So the zone of incompetence is something that you do terribly and you hate doing. The zone of competence is something that you really don't care for doing, but you can do it. You do it okay. Things that you do in your zone of excellence is there are usually things that you do well. A lot of people that are successful in their careers, that's where they live, in their zone of excellence. They do well, they have degrees to support that, um, but they still get very exhausted and very stressed. And then your zone of genius is where you do things that naturally are that you're good at, that you enjoy doing, the things that get results, but also give you pleasure on doing those things, right? So if you're a people person, like being around people, talking to people, those things are things that you get results, and you also feel happy doing those things. And you really have to spend some time figuring it out. What are the things that put you in the zone? And this can be as simple as, like, some people love to be in nature and just spend time like outside in nature, and that puts them in the zone. That makes them happy. That recharges them. Some people like to be around people. Some people like to read empowering content. That I love to read things that empower me and give me ideas and dreams. Some people like to bake. Some people like to sing. So finding the things that are in your zone of genius that puts you in the zone, and some of those things you may not be a genius at yet. Let's say you like to sing, but you're not a great singer. You may need to invest some time and some money and take singing classes so you can develop that talent, right? But if you have a feeling when you are singing and you feel great doing, even though you are not great yet, it could be a sign that that's your zone of genius. The zone of genius sign always comes from you enjoying doing those things versus you being good at doing those things, because you can always learn to be good at something, but if you don't truly enjoy, it's not your zone of genius. You're not in the zone, okay? So finding that place where you're going to recharge, not just sleeping. Yeah, sometimes we just need to eat a sandwich and take a nap and recharge that way. But most of the times, the reason why we're overwhelmed is we are doing a lot of urgent things and not enough things in the zone. So we need to know what really needs done in the urgent side of it, and what are the things that will recharge and recenter us, that put us in the zone, that will give us the feel to go back and do those urgent things that needs done, because things always need done, right? So once again, I'm going to recap the 3 things to kill the overwhelm and to take care of your soul. Um, Letting go of control of things that you do not have control of. Separating what is urgent and what is important. And number 3, get in the zone. Find out what are the things that put you in the zone, that makes you happy doing them, and do those things so you can recharge and recenter. But before I go, I want to say something very important. Yesterday, I was in the Bible study, and we were talking about how a lot of times we are so obsessed with ourselves, and that becomes an idol, right? And one of the people in the group mentioned that self-care could be an idol. And I said something, it could become an idol. And I'm actually talking about that because I know some of you may be falling into this trap now of saying, I am not going to do things that makes me happy because that's an idol. But I'm going to tell you the truth. All the things that become an idol was given to us as a blessing. And we took that blessing and we made it an idol. So society today, especially when we are talking about people of faith, we spend a lot of time avoiding our blessings because we are afraid of making it an idol. We don't want to receive the blessing because we are afraid that we cannot deal with it. So we need to trust that the Holy Spirit will give us the power to receive the blessing the way God sent them to us. God gave us rest. God gave us self-care. God gave us prosperity and abundance. God gave us health. And the Bible tells us this over and over again. If you're a person of faith that reads the Bible, you know that. But we, a lot of times, we are afraid of what we are going to do with that blessing, that we prefer not receiving it. And that is bringing us the overwhelm, because God already gave us the blessing. He already gave it us, but we are holding in the back and say, no, thank you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with this blessing. So receive the blessing and the time of rest and the time of self-care that God already gave it to you. Because with this rest, you're going to be empowered to do the work and the service that you are called to do. That is going to add value to your family, to your friends, to your colleagues, to your work, to everything you do, to your purpose here in your life. If you don't rest, if you don't do self-care, if you don't do soul care, if you don't pay attention on your mental health, if you don't pay attention on your physical health, you are not going to be able to fulfill the purpose that you have, to do the service that you're here for. So be open to receive that self-care. Be open to receive that blessing. Okay. I love you guys. I would love to know your thoughts on that. If you do struggle with that, please send us a DM or comment below. We would love to just walk this thought process with you and help you just receive the blessing of self-care and receive the blessing of rest and all those things, and kind of clear your mind so you can live in the purpose that you have. Okay. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye bye.